Welcome to the Big Tech Gut Check here on Scrolling to Death. This is a weekly update for parents on all things social media and big tech. This update is for the week of May 6, 2024. First up today, TikTok has sued us. By us, I mean the U.S. government. So as predicted, TikTok has sued the U.S. government in response to new legislation requiring TikTok to be purchased by an American company or we will ban it from U.S. app stores. The lawsuit was filed on May 7th and argues that the law violates constitutional protections of free speech. This move is strategic. It will push back the enforcement of the law, potentially years while we go through the legal process. And in the meantime, TikTok can continue to serve harmful content to kids. It was actually revealed this week that TikTok's policy literally says it cannot comply with the divestment requirement, which is to sell to an American company, because the Chinese government would not permit a divestment. So that just proves again that the Chinese government does have influence over what happens at TikTok, which reinforces the whole need for the law. Here's TikTok's quote regarding the lawsuit. For the first time in history, Congress has enacted a law that subjects a single named speech platform to a permanent nationwide ban and bars every American from participating in a unique online community with more than 1 billion people worldwide. TikTok, I don't really know what you mean by named speech platform, but if you're trying to imply that you're a third-party message board that doesn't influence the free speech of your users, then what about all the suicide content that you pushed to Mason Edens when he wasn't looking for it and then he took his own life? What about all the body image and eating disorder content that you pushed to teenagers, which one study showed was happening every 39 seconds? And what about all the deadly challenge videos that are being pushed to children, causing them to try the challenge and die? On behalf of parents, we don't want your harmful platform in the hands of our kids. Stop wasting our taxpayer dollars and suing our government. The law has passed. It's done. Or how about this? Duplicate the TikTok platform that exists in China and is offered to Chinese children. Our children deserve the same respect that your children do. In China, the TikTok product is only available for minors for 40 minutes a day, and they cannot use it between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And all the content is strictly educational. Can we get that version of TikTok for American children, not the deadly version? Okay, moving on. As you may already understand, tech companies are protected from liability by a law from the 1990s called Section 230. They are currently not liable if something harmful happens on their platforms, even if they served the content to the child that led to a crime. This is wrong, so there are a number of bills being proposed to add liability. And there are a number of states who are trying to get kids and teens off of social media entirely. So here's a few new laws that we should be aware of. Tennessee has passed the most stringent age verification law of them all. Governor Bill Lee just passed a law called Protecting Children from Social Media Act. It restricts all minors from accessing social media without parental permission, meaning if you're not 18, you have to get your parents' permission to sign up for social media. So in Tennessee, social media companies have until January 1st of next year to come up with a plan to verify the parental permission piece. It won't just be the click of a button. Likely it'll be uploading an ID or some kind of document verification. So in Florida, Senator Cruz passed the Kids Off Social Media Act, which bans kids under 14 from having their own social media accounts. And 14 and 15-year-olds do need to get parent permission as well. In Georgia, they passed the Protecting Georgia's Children on Social Media Act, requiring parental consent for users under 16. Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Utah have all passed laws requiring parental consent for children to use social media, though in Arkansas, a federal judge blocked enforcement of the law. This is going to get confusing, with every state implementing different laws, and the social media companies servicing each state. Wouldn't we prefer a nationwide rule? It seems like that would be easier for the tech companies to implement as well. So if we simply started with verifying ages so that under 13s are not allowed on the platform, that would help a ton. But what about 16 with parental permission? 18? Please let me know your thoughts. Okay, one more legislative update that is important, and this is related to sextortion. Soon I'll be uploading a podcast interview with John DeMay, who's the dad of Jordan DeMay. Jordan was 17 when he was sextorted by a group of Nigerian men on Instagram. Within hours of the first contact, Jordan had taken his life. The details of this story are unthinkable. But what parents have to know is that it's estimated that nearly all teens will be targeted with a sextortion scheme at some point in their online activity. And our government is taking this threat seriously. So this week, President Biden signed a new law, the Report Act. This law will require tech companies to report crimes that occur on their website related to federal trafficking, grooming, and enticement of children. Did you know that these companies weren't required to be monitoring and reporting this type of content? That was a shock to me. Without a requirement of reporting, we are already looking at 36 million reports of online sexual exploitation of children in 2023. So that number is about to spike now that the tech companies will be required to report. This threat is serious. It's affecting so many families. So please listen to my upcoming episode with John DeMay to learn more about sextortion. And also listen to my interview with Kath Nibbs about child sexual abuse material. That is a related topic and gives parents a lot of helpful information on how to talk to your kids and protect them from these really scary things. On to another concerning topic today, and that is fentanyl being sold through social media to children. A school district in Carrollton, Texas is being hit with a wave of fentanyl poisonings and deaths. 3 children have died in just the past few months. So a man named Jason Villanueva was arrested for using Instagram and Snapchat to distribute over 200,000 fentanyl-laced pills just this year. He was recruiting students as young as middle school to sell the drugs within the schools. I've interviewed many families who have lost a child due to a fentanyl-laced pill that they thought was a prescription pill. And here's what we need to know as parents. This is happening to normal kids, successful kids, straight A kids, star athletes, regular kids that just want to try something new. They're being lied to and told that the pill is an Oxy or a Percocet. DEA agents are telling parents that these pills do not have any active ingredients and they are nearly always laced with fentanyl, sometimes a deadly dose. The fake pills are being sold on social media, primarily Snapchat. Drug dealers are using a geolocator within Snapchat called SnapMap to find children and send them a colorful drug menu. So if we don't tell our kids about this threat, they could be the next one to be targeted. They could be the next one to be poisoned. They could be the next one to die. So please inform your children that if someone offers them a pill, even if it's their best friend, they cannot take it. Medication is only safe when prescribed by a doctor. Listen to my interview with retired DEA agent Bill Bodner, or my interview with Amy Neville, who lost her son Alexander at 14, or my interview with Sam Chapman, who lost Sammy at 16, or my upcoming interview with Jaime Puerta, who lost his son Daniel. Any of them. It's hard to hear these stories, but the lessons you will learn can be life-saving. Okay, let's end with new recommendations from Ofcom. So Ofcom is a UK-based organization that works to regulate communication services through research and recommendations. They just released a set of safety practices called Children's Safety Codes of Practice as a plea to tech companies to better protect children online. I'll outline a few. Some are related to legislation and some apply directly to parents. So first, make social media safe by design. This will be accomplished here in the US when we pass the Kids Online Safety Act, but the takeaway for parents is these companies are not currently required to make their products safe for children. Social media companies can addict them all they want. Next, implement age verification. Actual age verification. There are millions of children under 13 on social media, and they're technically not allowed to be, but all they have to do is lie about their birthday. This is not good enough. We need to verify actual ages. I mentioned earlier some states who are passing laws at the state level, but we truly need federal legislation to enforce social media age limits. Kids under 13, hell, under 16, do not need to be on social media. Next, ensure that algorithms do not recommend harmful content. This is a huge one. Currently, social media algorithms are literally pushing harm to kids. It causes them to stay on the platform longer. So from sexual content to drugs to eating disorder and self-harm content to violence, it's all happening and it's all being suggested by the platforms to our children. And last, more support and choice for parents. This includes clear and accessible terms of service and making it easier for kids and parents to report harmful content, actually doing something about it when it's reported, giving parents support tools and parental control centers that actually help us, and giving parents more control and visibility into what our children are doing online, especially when something harmful has happened. I've talked to many parents whose child literally died, and Instagram or Snapchat won't give the parents access to the child's chat log, which could literally inform the parent and law enforcement on how or why the child died. Thank you to Ofcom for these recommendations. I hope that the US government passes similar legislation to what they have in the UK and do something to protect our kids online. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I can always keep going on these updates. Thank you guys. Seriously, it's so important for parents to get educated on these topics so that we can stay ahead of the harms, protect our kids from something serious happening to them online. Our job is hard, and sometimes I reflect on how easy our parents had it, only having to worry about literal stranger danger with not a worry in the world about what we could be doing online. But here we are. So let's stay connected and let's stay informed, and I'll do everything I can to help. Thank you for listening in to this week's Big Tech Gut Check here on Scrolling to Death. I'll be in touch next week.